Hello, friends. As the year 2019 was in its last leg and revelation to welcome the new year 2020, worldwide coronavirus appeared in the Wuhan province of China at the midst of December. Within a month, it had appeared the world over as an epidemic. As the world is racked by this virus, it has also challenged contemporary science and technology. Even the world power seems to be helpless in the face of this pandemic. Citizens of most of the nations are forced to stay indoors, locked down. In a lockdown situation, business and commerce have come to stand and still. Predictions on worldwide economic recession are right. The government of all of the states have adopted rigorous steps to combat this virus. This has not only resulted in the closure of financial activities but also has dragged unemployment to the extreme. The ordinary wage earners and the toilers are at the receiving end, together with the persons displaced by the conflict or other causes. As the resources of states and governments are funneled towards pandemic control, the low income groups have borne the brunt. The emergencies measures put in place by the world government have led to a situation wherein even the basic limits of human rights are also open to compromise. International norms on human rights have attached some extra liabilities on state during the time of medical emergencies. However, we cannot discount the possibility that compromises and violation of human rights may befall while discharging official duties. In evident that the government across the world have either restricted or imposed limitation on several fundamental rights in their fight on pandemic control and treatment of the infirm. The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights has indeed authorized the state to restrain some rights for public benefit. However, such restrictions need to be lawful and plausible. Those checks should not be pretext for human rights violations. The International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights provides that even in the time of pandemics, the governments are duty bound to act for their control and treatment of all ills within the full extent of their capacity and importance. Still, those prevention and treatment measures should be within simple and reliable access of commoners and deprived people. The people of both the rich and developing nations have been suffering now from this coronavirus pandemic. Hence, there seems possibility that the means of resources available in world by the deploy for use, especially in the rich countries, at the expense of developing nations. The sudden explosion of COVID-19 pandemic at once across the planet has shown a dire shortage of health professionals. The medical equipments, apparatus, and required logistics that they employ at work are also in a shortfall. Serious problems have resulted from the inefficiency of equipments, logistics due to due to sprawling globalization crisis in one country inevitably affects the other. Due to closure of business and industries, the workers are the most hit. In today's world, there is a considerable presence of foreign workers in each country. Primarily, the workers of developing nations are involved in the development process of rich and industrial nations. However, in course of addressing the pandemic, there is an adequate possibility of right of the migrant workers being compromised. The big and wealthy nations have announced relief packages considering their own financial and commercial interest. However, there is a green possibility of migrant workers not being included in such relief. Thus, such tillers are in double jeopardy in the time of coronavirus outbreak. No social attention is paid to the persons displaced from conflict worldwide. The adequacy of personal protective equipment and social distancing cannot be thought of in the refugee camps. How can a refugee forced to be crammed in tight space be expected to follow social distancing? Similarly, most of the prisoners are also overwhelmed. Millions of workers from the most of the countries in South Asia, South America, and Africa are serving a countries of Southeast Asia, Europe, North America, and the Gulf. Protection of their right has become a pressing challenge in the time. The market and state capitalism that is prevalent today have not included the problem of workers within their right periphery. Moreover, world agencies such as UN, UNICEF, WHO, and ILO are also lagging in their effort to effectively create an environment of international cooperation and solidarity against the outbreak. In simple terms, human rights defenders are such community who strive for the rights of others. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has deeply admired the courage and sacrifice of human rights defenders. As he says, these individuals and organizations are our eyes and tears and conscience. Yes, it is the time for human rights community to be active as the ears and eyes of the world in the pretext of controlling or aiding in prevention of pandemic. The powerful nations may dominate the weaker one, and the government may also curtail fundamental right of their people in the name of combating this outbreak. In addition, the human rights defenders need to be more active for restoring the political, social, and economic rights of the workers, women, and children, and those engaged in overseas employment as migrant workers. In the current scenario, where the democratic agencies of the world are in a back foot and people are in lockdown, it is very daunting for the human rights community to act as the ears and eyes. We have seen that world human rights agencies are also not up to the mark due to their separate priorities. Even the human rights institution and commission of various countries are content in releasing press statement based on the news floating by media. In such a situation, on the one hand, there is a need for cooperation and solidarity among human rights communities at a global level, and on the other hand, within a country of the joint initiative of national institution and human rights community will be warranted. In this turbulent time, the shortage of means and resources is another obstacle. However, it is imperative that some agencies and government of all nations should step out considering their responsibilities. It is necessary for all the human rights defenders, human rights institutions, and civic bodies to effect a change in their day-to-day working style and approach in this medical emergency. We cannot win over pandemic like COVID-19 without cooperation and solidarity among ourselves. The globalization of COVID-19 is our present and real hazard. Hence, its treatment is also possible only at a global level. For this to happen, solidarity among the state, citizenry, human rights communities, and international actors is an essential prerequisite. The activeness of and endeavors of national human rights community can only prepare an environment for international cooperation and solidarity. It is an international problem. It is a globalized problem. So we have to address this problem, this issue with a international solidarity. Thank you very much.